presentation of flag is conducted by Bar Scout Troop 114 in China. St. Louis. And now the national anthem, which will be sung by Lil Ralph. Lil Ralph.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and the bright stars through the perilous fight on the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. In the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That was great, a cappella. Initially, I'd like to acknowledge the many organizations that you see represented here today. One of the things that the commission decided was that this just supposed to be a focus on the horrors. Therefore, that's the representative today. These are the constituent groups that do so much to help out the legal system. I want to
You did good for
I got it.
Young man, you did a wonderful job.
Thank you. I gotta wait to the end to sing Lift Every Voice.
Thank you.
The brothers and daughters of the improved, benevolent, and protected water of Elks. Tonight, the ladies that thank you for favor, ladies of distinction, riders and tours of the East St. Louis County Water Council, VFW 47480, and the East St. Louis Fire and Police Board. We have opening remarks and prayer by Father Joseph Brown, Society of Jesus.
Whenever we have our commission meetings, the commissioners are used to me pulling out B. Wells's statements about the East St. Louis race riot. But I'm going to read one paragraph, 3 sentences, from Carlos Hurd, who wrote about the events, the massacre, for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
You're so welcome.
I was calling and I was like, oh my God, are we gonna make it? Y'all were just in time.
We're dependable, very dependable.
I'm just glad to highlight him and y'all are involved. And we hope you can come tomorrow. Right? No? For the youth program, we were talking.
What time?
So the best time would probably be like around
I read that
like
here
1, like
on
between
purpose.
1 and 2:30 up over that. The
For
youth part
matters of
going
life
on, and we
and
wanted
death
him to
judgment.
sing
pagan.
I'm
They
sure
said-
Ralph gonna. I'm sure Clint gonna work
But
that
I'm
out.
reading it
Because they
because
said you had a real, like,
dressed as I
upbeat,
am,
powerful kind of song for young people.
death is not the
So we're
last
hoping
word.
it could be something like that.
Okay, no
Not in
problem.
my book.
Okay.
Problem. We got you.
Therefore, as we bow our heads,
Excuse me.
remember those who were slaughtered against and outside the law. As we feel the presence of those who cried out for justice no matter how long it would
We
take,
don't have enough flowers.
I say this. Spirits of the ancestors, saints of the family, look down upon us and smile. And if your tears fall upon us like the rain from heaven, we shall be glad and grateful that we have gathered in this circle. For nothing is ever, ever lost as long as we remember. Our young have presented flags and sung a song that changes the meaning by the beauty of its performance. We stand here now, grateful to be called, to hear, to remember, to understand, and to change the world we live in. For all those who believe and all those who quest, let us all say, Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Father Brown. At this time, the program calls for an overview of the East St. Louis pogrom of 1917. We also use the term pogrom because we think it better befits what actually occurred. The pogrom is an intentional removal of an ethnic or religious group by violence. Howard, the challenge of trying to basically give an overview of something so horrible that I can track from what really occurred. But what I would like to begin with is probably asking a big question that's on your mind. Why is this commemoration being held in Belleville? After all, the program occurred in St. Louis. It is my strong belief that the program, better known as the East St. Louis Race Ride, started right here on the Senate. In 1903, Mr. David Wyatt, a black teacher from Brooklyn, Illinois, was lynched right in front of the courthouse, right on the town square. His body was hung from a light post and set on fire. Can you imagine the impact of that occurring in the seat of justice? Equality. What it did was establish that in St. Clair County, the Diocese of Belleville, mob rule of supreme over any other law. In the early 1900s, as a result of the Great Migration, black population increased in East St. Louis. Our foreparents were not coming here to take anyone's job. They were fleeing oppression, lynching, wholesale rape of African women with no recourse, a lack of education, and no hope for the future of their children. They came to East St. Louis. In East St. Louis, we had a very dynamic and assertive black leader. He made whites very uncomfortable in the person of Dr. Leroy Condon. In 1916, according to Dr. Elliott Rutherford, there became the first organized opposition of hostility toward African Americans in East St. Louis. That was when the Democrats, who were Republicans then, the Democrats falsely alleged that 2,000 black voters were being imported from the South by the Republicans to steal a congressional election. The Republican candidate won, which enraged many whites. When war was declared, many of the labor unions decided that this was an excellent opportunity to increase the rights of workers, white workers, or blacks, did not allow in labor unions. Pursuant to that, in April of 1917, there occurred a strike of the aluminum ore plant. Many Union leaders were fired, and the places were taken by white and black workers. However, the strike was broken. All anyone could remember was the black people who took our jobs. On May the 28th, union members met with the mayor and city council and demanded that the influx of blacks be stopped or else. During the meeting, there was a report of a white being attacked by a black. The angry group of people left City Hall and began attacking blacks along Collinsville Avenue. This continued until the National Guard was called in. Luckily, no one was killed. However, the National Guard was withdrawn by June the 10th. But this did not stop the violence. Black workers were continually attacked in their left work, so much so that plant owners would release their black workers early so that they could avoid the congestion of quitting time. On July the 1st, a group of whites drove through the 1700 block of Market Avenue. They were firing weapons. They left there and they went to the Commerce Hotel, which was right next to City Hall. No one did anything at all about it. There was a report that black were congregating on the south end of the police officers were sent to investigate. On the right corner, without light, of Kent and Bond Avenue, they were shot, and later on, one of them eventually died, one was killed instantly. On July the 2nd, the blood-stained, bullet-ridden car was stationed in front of the police department for everyone to see. An angry group gathered. They told everyone to meet at the labor hall. The group met, and they were told to come with their guns. After a rousing incendiary speech, the angry mob shouting, "This is a white man's town," left the Union Hall intent on eradicating the African American population of East Anglia. Before their work was completed, an estimated 200 black men, women, children, and infants would be shot to death, beaten to death, hanged to death, stabbed to death, stoned to death, burned to death. 2 infants were shot in the head, and 1 thrown into a burning home and 2 later. The cry was, "Burn them out! Burn them out!" Whole square blocks where blacks lived in East Anglia were apart. And when the residents tried to flee, they were shot like that. Many extended their hands, shouting, "Hands up, don't shoot." But still, they were shot. Some chose to stay in the burning homes and they were incinerated. Some of the oldest and most respected African Americans were killed in this program. Some of the police and National Guardsmen joined in this slaughter. The joke of the day was this is different. In the aftermath of the riot, the prefect shot after to fire all of his 100 black workers in South Carolina, white workers. There was a national and international outrage. Many felt that the violence in East Anglia and mockery of President Woodrow Wilson's pledge to make the world safe for democracy and for the nation. East Anglia safe for African Americans. Only 2 whites went to prison for murder. Only 2 whites. But 11 of some of the most successful members of the black community went to prison for the killing of the 2 white officers on perjured testimony. Do not believe that the massacre was an act of insignificant humor seeking a moment of glory. It was a riot of irresponsible journalism that praised mob action and the lynching of blacks. It was a riot of law enforcement which saw its duty as to serve and protect only whites. Black lives didn't matter. It was a riot of the justice system which perceived its duty was to protect the guilty, and as a result, police and National Guardsmen who killed blacks were let go with $50 fines. It was a riot of thousands of bystanders who merely watched entertainment and did nothing. Most of all, it was a riot of the little men who pretended to be the civic and moral leadership of the community. The shepherds abandoned their flock to the leadership of the goats. And now we'll have remarks by Chief Judge Andrew Gleason of the Guild spelling of the name. That's all my fault.
Morning, thanks, Milt. Before I get started, let's continue to clap. I want to give a shout out to that young man who did that beautiful rendition of the national anthem. Beautiful. I'm Andy Gleason. I'm the Chief Judge of the 20th Judicial Circuit. And what comes to mind this morning is the idea that those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. I'm a native of East St. Louis. I was born there in 1959, and I lived there till 1973. Very much of who I am today was formed in the parochial schools and the streets of that city. I'm proud to call East St. Louis my home. Thank you. I have an experience. Both my parents were teachers in the city. My father at School District 189, and my mother at St. Teresa's Academy, and later at Assumption High School. Our family was very much part of the thread, in fact, fabric of East St. Louis. I would suggest to you that my story and my experience should be heard and learned from. My colleague on the bench for many years, Milton Wharton, Judge Milton Wharton, also coincidentally a product of that parochial school system. While I had my experience, he had a much different experience. He's a little older than I. Sorry, Mel. As an African American in the city at that time. His experience also should be heard and learned from. Mr. Robert E. McGlynn, a prominent East St. Louis attorney. And I would probably think that out of all the people that are here this morning, he probably has the most number of years of life experience and memories of East St. Louis, some 85 years. He's a little older than that also, but probably that's the length of his memory at this time. I would suggest to you, and I would actually urge you to talk to him, because he also is an experience that should be heard and learned from. I have my childhood friend, Mr. James Ingram, a talented journalist with the renowned African American newspaper in St. Louis, the St. Louis American. Little did James and I know that when we were childhood friends on 23rd Street in East St. Louis, that we were on the cutting edge of immigration and integration, sorry. It's on my mind for some reason. Of integration in our city. Because you know what? We didn't really understand what that was at that time. We were children and childlike. Wonderful quality. All we knew is that we listened and heard and learned from each other as we were in the neighborhood. We were brothers on the street there in the neighborhood as children. His experience also was different than mine as the years went on. His experience should be heard and learned from. So as I close this morning, I would suggest to you that we all need to retain some of those childlike qualities. We need to listen, to be heard, to learn, and appreciate each other's life experiences. In that manner, we make this great experiment of the United States of America one that can succeed and flourish. What that means is when we hear and learn from each other, we're not doomed to repeat that history. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Judge Gleason. In preparing this program, we wanted to have a symbolic lowering of the flag, but that required, for the American flag at least, presidential approval. In substitute, I spoke with Chairman Mark Kern, who was gracious and has done everything he could to make this a successful program, although he couldn't be here today. He said, well, we can lower the St. Clair County flag. So at this time, we're going to have a symbolic bell ringing conducted by the Chief of the Fire Department Blackman of East St. Louis, and also a symbolic lowering of the St. Clair County flag. Have a moment of silence for the victims of the program, white and black. Thank you. At this time, we have remarks from East St. Louis Mayor Tamika Jackson Hicks.
Good morning. Good morning. As always, it's my honor to be before you this morning. I'm humbled to be here as we remember and honor those who lost their lives in the 1917 pogrom that took place in the city of East St. Louis 100 years ago. The history of the race riots in East St. Louis speaks to many issues that we still struggle with today. Racial inequalities, systemic racism ingrained in the fiber of our society, social, political, and economic injustices that we still face today, all speak to the work that we have as leaders of the community. And we still have to instill today. All speak to the work that we as leaders of the community must continue to work to instill motivation and desire into our citizens to ensure that something so monumental as the 1917 pogrom will never again happen in our city. Still today, too many instances, African Americans continue to be judged by the color of their skin and not by the content of their character. Unfortunately, many black women and men are dying and being taken away from their families every day just because they're black. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Human progress is neither automatic nor inevitable. Every step toward the goal of justice requires sacrifice, suffering, and struggle. The tireless exertions and passionate concern of dedicated individuals." How dedicated are we today to human progress? What sacrifices are we making to make sure that East St. Louis rises from its past history, that this region rises from its past history? We are all accountable to the black lives that were lost in the 1917 pogrom that did not matter because they wanted a better life. We owe progress to ourselves, to our children, to our children's children. It is never too late to pick up our individual crosses and collectively strive for human progress. Sacrifice and struggle often go along with pain. I, like you, do not enjoy pain, but I do understand, as Frederick Douglass stated, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. Let's embrace the struggle and let's embrace each other. This is the greatest honor we could ever give our forefathers. Thank you for allowing me to be here with you.
Now we'll have the favorite daughter of East St. Louis, United States District Judge, Stacey Youngman, come forward for remarks.
May surprise some of you, but I'm going to be brief. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today, and I am quite taken. As I look around, I am being a proud East St. Louis.
Put the microphone closer.
Surrounded. I find myself surrounded by my role models, my teachers, my babysitters, my playmates, and many people. I also want to acknowledge and to agree with Judge Morton and say this is the most appropriate place for us to be today on this occasion. And I am happy to acknowledge my colleagues from the 20th Judicial Circuit and my fellow advocates in justice. And you all should be encouraged that these men and women are the men and women who mete out justice in this courthouse every day. And so I acknowledge and I'm proud to be here with you guys today. You know, history is simple. Sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes that's a bad thing. And I'm going to piggyback on what Judge Gleason said, because if we take an honest look around us today, we have to acknowledge that some of the same combustible conditions that existed on July 2nd, 1917 are present in our city, in our community, in our region, and in our country today. And we all should reflect and remember the well-known saying, if you don't know your history, you are bound to repeat. So I want to commend the Centennial Commission for its vision, for its hard work, and for shining the light on what has been and is a very difficult, painful, but important event in our history. Thank you.
St. Clair County State's Attorney, Brendan Kelly.
Thank you. Judge Morton asked me to speak, and he sent me a copy of the report of the special committee authorized by Congress to investigate the East St. Louis riots. I think there's just a few things from that report that was done by a commission to investigate those riots that are worth pointing out if we are going to know our history and make sure we are not going to repeat it. The investigation found that the employers of labor paid too little heed to the comfort or welfare of their men. They saw them crowded into wretched cabins without water or any of the conveniences of life, their wives and children condemned to live in the disreputable quarters of the town, and made no effort to lift them out of the mire. They found that politicians of both parties in a few years had robbed the treasury, gave away valuable franchises, sank the city into the mire of pollution, and brought upon it censure and disgrace. They found that the owners of the great corporations pocketed their dividends, and without a thought for the thousands of their own workmen, black and white, who lived in the hovels, the victims of poverty and disease, of long hours and incessant labor. That greed made money grabbers of the manufacturers who pitted white labor against black, drove organized labor from their plants. All this stirred the fires of hatred until it finally culminated in bloody, pitiless riot, arson, and wanton murder. This was the general character of July 1st, 1917, when the spirit of lawlessness, long smoldering, burst into flame. They also found that when newspaper reporters were taking pictures of the mob, they were threatened with arrest if any further attempt was made to photograph the rioters who were making the streets run red with innocent blood. But they also found some good things. They gave special commendation to the conduct, bravery, and skill of Colonel C.B. Clayton of the 4th Infantry. Had it not been for his promptness and determination, the mob certainly would have committed many more atrocities. They also commended the work of Reverend George W. Allison, the pastor of the First Baptist Church of East St. Louis, a man of courage, capacity, and determination. Conspiracies against his character and threats against his life did not deter him. They also gave special commendation to the Attorney General at that time, Attorney General Brundage, for listening to every appeal brought by the people of East St. Louis and St. Clair County, the good people. So they found economic disruption, violence against journalists, ignoring the rule of law. They found the wealthiest exploiting or ignoring workers and the poor and turning groups against each other. They found mistrust in public institutions whose duty and functions were distorted by money. They found a people on the edge and ready to explode. If it sounds familiar, then this commemoration should be a lesson for us as well. A reminder of how dark, deadly, and dangerous our choices altogether can be if we aren't vigilant about those choices. It is a choice to respect freedom of the press. It is a choice to close the gap between the rich and poor and address the needs of the suffering people. It is a choice to work for the greater good of all rather than oneself. It is a choice to turn anger and frustration into productive action rather than destructive violence. It is a choice to uphold the law. It is a choice to protect the trust and integrity of public institutions. It is a choice to promote respect and see the essential humanity in each human being. Will we be the sowers of greater inequality and division, or will we be like Reverend Allison? Will we be the bystanders who see suffering and look the other way, or will we be brave like Colonel Clayton? Will we tear each other apart in a wave of violence that rolls over the land, or will we hear the cries for help like Attorney General Brundage did? Are the riots of 1917 a vision of the past or a vision of our future? The choice is ours. Thank you.
That's the question. What is the vision? And it depends on us as we pretend to be leaders. We see that that future is a bright one and not one of the past. Illinois Representative Victoria Greenwood is currently in session. However, her senior advisor, Mrs. Peggy LeCompte, is present, and she'll make brief remarks.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
We come at one moment in time. It's a time of hope, remembrance, and prayer. Reconciliation, heritage, honor, and praise. It's a time of harmony and faith and adoration and adulation. It's a time of courage and compassion, salutation and greatness. It's a time of jubilation and love, momentum and opportunity. It's a time when we embrace, we assimilate, we integrate, we empower. It is a time of bravery and challenge, enlightenment, struggle, responsiveness, and dreams. It's a time when we declare victory, but a time when we yet yearn for that we know should be. And so we come remembering the weary years, the silent tears. We come with exaltation and expectation, but yet we do come, remembering who we are and whose we are. And so at this one moment in time, let us today declare, it will be said, it will be sung, it will be written, it will be done. Thank you.
That is all extemporaneous because she didn't know she was going to speak this morning. She's a great orator. Senator Richard Durbin wanted to be here, but he is in session, of course, as you know. Some very important issues are being debated, but he sent his top man in Illinois, Mr. William Houlihan, head of the Office of the United States Senator Durbin in Illinois. Thanks, Judge Wharton. Good morning.
Hey, girl, how you doing?
I have the high honor of working for a son of East St. Louis, Skip Kirby. Everywhere he goes, whether it's Washington, D.C., Chicago, East St. Louis, Cairo, Kankakee, he tells everybody he was born in East St. Louis and he's proud of it. And that rubs off on all the staff in the Chicago office, the Springfield office, and Carbondale and Rock Island. He truly loves the city of East St. Louis. He truly loves the people of Illinois. But he knows today we're at a point in life where we've got to make a decision. Whether we decide to move forward in a positive direction or go backward, which hurts all of us. And what is most important to him is that he tells us all the time, it's our responsibility to make sure we leave this place better for our children and grandchildren than we had it ourselves. So if we leave here today, we should be dedicated to that. We've got to remember our history so we don't repeat the bad parts of history. But we also have to remember that if we move forward united, we can do so much more for East St. Louis, St. Clair County, Illinois, and the United States of America. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Julian. I believe I saw Mr. Stanley Franklin, president of East St. Louis, NAACP. Is he still here? I know he had, okay, you have it. Yeah. Robert, would you like to come forward and represent the NAACP? Tony Perrin, okay. Johnny Scott, okay. Robert Scott, come on.
And he's trying to find somebody else. He's like, oh.
He's scared.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This is a good day. It's a blessed one. We need to pray for our nation. One of the things we often pray for is one another. The blessed need kind of pray. The blessed see, her, him. We can't continue to do that. We are at a critical point in the United States of being a free nation. Things that is happening today in history. And that's what brought down some of the greatest nations in the world. Rome, Egypt, Babylon, all of those nations failed what they did in order to secure their nation. They didn't do it right. Let us do it right. Thank you. May God bless you and God keep you. Peace.
Thank you, Reverend Scott. I think we're pretty much on schedule, so I'm going to stray from the program a little bit, and it's because of something Judge Yamel mentioned concerning the judges who are basically the defenders of everything that we've talked about that we want our system to serve. We usually don't have a chance to meet them, except some of them run for office periodically. But they do a great job, and it's important for you to know something about them, or at least to know their faith. So I'm going to ask each of our active judges to come forward and introduce themselves. You've already met Judge Gleason. Let's begin with you.
All right. I'm Julie Katz, sit here in Family Court in Belmont.
I'm Judge Tom Kennedy. I've been on the bench since 2015.
Good morning, folks. I'm Ron Dubert. I'm one of those judges who ran for election. I'm sitting in courtroom 108. Judge Aguirre.
Good morning. My name is John O'Gara. I'm an associate circuit judge. I sit in courtroom 301, which is small claims.
All right, my manners are back. Ladies first. Judge Cruz?
Good morning. I'm Circuit Judge Dana Cruz. I preside in criminal felony.
Judge Hornberg?
Chief, I'm Gianna Hornberg. I'm one of the newest of the new judges, and I'm the domestic violence.
Judge Keevan?
Good morning. I'm Patricia Keevlin, and I sit in family court as well.
Judge Gomer?
Good morning. I'm Julie Gomrick. I sit in family and domestic in 302.
Judge Lachine?
I'm Bob Machine. I'm a circuit judge in the Civil and Injunction Division. I want to tell you that I would not be here today if it weren't for the votes that I got from East St. Louis. I simply wouldn't be here. And I thank everyone.
Judge McGlynn?
Good morning, I'm Judge Steve McGlynn, and I'm honored to be here. And I think I ought to mention my great-grandfather, Dan McGlynn, who was a leader in East St. Louis and had an active role in trying to stop the riots. I'm very proud of his history.
Judge Rudolph?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Heinz Rudolph. I'm an associate circuit judge, and I currently sit in the arbitration division. Thank you.
Judge Kelly?
My name is Randy Kelly. I preside over felony cases and hear felony jury trials in courtroom 410. I do believe we would be remiss if we didn't also acknowledge this morning our former chief judge, our dear friend and lifelong friend of the city of East St. Louis, John Bursitic.
There goes Randy, stealing my thunder again. I'm sorry, Judge Haight, I didn't see you hiding back there.
I'm Robert Hayda. I served in criminal felony with Judge Cruz and Judge Kelly.
Just to finish up with my manners, I want to acknowledge Judge Yandel, our colleague and counterpart from the federal court. What a great judge. Oh, there I go, Walter Brandon too. So, thank you, Judge Yandel.
Good morning. I'm Walter Brandon. I've been an associate judge since 1997. I hear all the juvenile cases, abuse, neglect, delinquency, and dependency. Thank you.
Our videographer would like a group picture of the judges. If you all could assemble back here, and I think you'll be a wonderful backdrop for the closing of the ceremony. Please, all judges. Judge Boy Civic, and one for retired judges also.
You know, folks, I'm remiss. Judge William Clay, unfortunately, wanted to be here this morning, but he's the new judge. He has to work. He has 108 and 109, but he sends his regards too.
How often do you get to put on the
Okay.
Now, I'm going to ask everybody to move along because I asked the ancestors to smile down upon us and let their tears flow, but I'm feeling drops of rain.
Okay.
Thank you. You just back up. In the backdrop, we'll have our closing. Let's have the boys to sing, sung again by our great vocalist.
Come on, young brother. You got it.
Let's